Hi YouTube aircraft fanatics. I thought I'd just do a quick little video on belly landing planes, hand launch planes and belly landing. Was in the UK here, for instance, we haven't got any runways like you see in the USA where they have sort of hard runways. All the club fields are all normally grass, and in the winter they're unusable. So generally the hand launch planes, you can fly them all year round because it doesn't really matter how long the grass is, you can land them in. Now, I've got four here, which is my sort of current fleet of hand launch planes and belly landers, mainly jets. And I've basically had quite a lot over the years. I've had a lot of park flyers and hand launch planes. And to be honest, a lot of them do get knackered up when they hit the grass, and belly landings that get scraped up and everything, and the nose cones on the jets get squashed in and all that sort of stuff. So I've picked out four that I believe are the best. They last a long time, they land well, they fly well, they're easy to hand launch, and they fly, and they're just really good planes, and they're currently available generally at the moment. So first of all, you've got the sort of fairly now famous 64mm FMS Rafale, which is absolutely awesome. And what I suggest is if you're belly landing and having the jets, that you get ones with removable nose cones. Pull that one off. So these nose cones are removable. You need the removable nose cones because, of course, if you do get into a situation where you're flying it on sort of bumpy farmland grass or something, you can easily the nose will just ping off and you won't damage it. Whereas a lot of the sport jets don't have a removable nose cone. So I suggest the sports jets are not really suitable. The best jets for belly landing and grass operation are the ones that will high alpha and flare when on landing. The ones that flare well obviously will reduce the damage on anywhere really on the plane, but especially the nose. Again, on the F15 there, Eflite F15, superb, same motor unit and fan as the FMS Rafale, 64mm. Again, this nose just pops off. So worst case scenario, that's what happens on a landing. What I do, you may notice that these two nose cones are shiny. The reason why they're shiny is because I've put epoxy. I glaze them with epoxy, and it really toughens them up, makes them really solid. Otherwise, they do sometimes break. Even if they come off the plane, because they're soft foam, a lot of them, they do tend to break and get scuffed up and everything. So if you glaze them with epoxy, especially Gorilla epoxy, which stays clear, then that is absolutely a fabulous thing to do. Moving on to the T33 by Arrows. This particular type of nose shape does not seem to get damaged. It's not sort of super pointy. If you see the shape of it, it's not pointy. It's got a hard bit at the end. It doesn't come off. It's not a removable nose cone, but I've had many flights on that and it just doesn't get damaged. It's a beauty, that one. I did have the Hawk. I did crash that. That had a fault with the gyro or something. It just stalled and went in. I'm not going to replace that because I find the Hawk, that sort of airframe, tends to break easily. It has a weak point just behind the canopy, near the inlets for the ducts, so they do tend to break easy. So I think this is a better bet. If you're going to have the Arrows planes, go for the T33 if you're flying off rougher ground. Now, sometimes these tanks at the end do get damaged. I've had to tape them up a bit, and again glaze them with epoxy. Obviously, you got the T28 by Eflite 1.1 meter one. That's absolutely brilliant. I mean, that's a go-to plane. You've got to have one of those. They're just fantastic. It just launches vertical straight up on fours, flies like a dream. What you need to do with this plane, if you do get the T28, is make sure that you put servo covers underneath. Make sure you put make sure you buy or make some servo covers, because you will strip a servo sometimes on landing, obviously. If you haven't got so you must make sure that all the planes have servo covers or if they're high wing, obviously they don't need it. So this one doesn't need it because the wing isn't going to catch the grass. The Eflite F15 flies and grass lands well with the armaments on. That's fine. They hardly ever come off because they sit on a fairly highish wing, so they don't tend to sort of come off. The Rafale don't fly it with the all the drop tanks and everything like that. Just fly it clean, but with the wingtip missiles, which obviously look really good. So there you have it, really. My recommendation on 4 planes that are available now in most countries. Provide a lot of entertainment, are really fun to fly, and they hold up really well. I've tried so many planes, and obviously gliders are brilliant on long grass, they just glide in, but generally if you want to fly some power planes that are hand launchable, a good weight, good size, take some wind, all of these have stabilization in them. The Eflite obviously has a AS3X gyro, and the other ones all have their own gyros, so that obviously helps. I tend to put a lot of the landings into safe mode so that it doesn't drop a wing on long grass. It tends to be, I know it's kind of cheating a bit. You can land them without, but you know, it just keeps the wings level in a breezy condition. Other than that, I would also glaze and epoxy the wing, the leading edges. Either put tape or epoxy. I'll put epoxy around here as well on the nose area. Obviously on the inlets, put some tape or epoxy around there where it catches the grass. On the Rafale, the canards, I've put some epoxy on the leading edge and also the wings. There's some Gorilla Tape underneath on all the models just to sort of where it skids in and touches. So there's a little bit of taping to do with some clear tape, a little bit of epoxy on all the leading edges of the wings. Again, that really stops them getting dinged up. So yeah, that's all I've got to say, really. But you can't go wrong with these models. You've got superb planes you can fly all year round. Don't need a club field. Well, I'm going to put that nose on back in a sec. So there you go. T33 from arrows at the back. Eflite T28 1.1 meter. Eflite F15 64mm EDF, and the FMS Rafale, which I think is my favourite. I love it. It gets such a lot of attention. Everyone goes, hey, look at that. It's a Delta Wing Eurofighter. They love it. And it's so scale. But they're all absolutely beautiful. So over and out. Hope this helps. Thanks, bye.